Hey guys. All right, we're still in week 15. The Shags is sort of just a little mini story time. This is our actual real influential historical content for the week. So, we are talking about Motown. Motown stands for more than just historic music. The label and its remarkable legacy is a reflection of the hard work and dedicated individuals overcoming obstacles to achieve success. Over a half century ago, on January 12th, 1959 to be exact, a young songwriter named Berry Gordy founded his company with a loan of $800 from his family, marking the birth of the Motown Records Corporation. Because Detroit, that's in Michigan, because Detroit had long been known as the Motor City, Gordy, in tribute to what he felt was the down-home quality of the warm, soulful people he grew up around, used town in place of city, which gave him the contraction Motortown and the perfect name for his company and new label, Motown. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Detroit, Michigan used to be, and I think still is to some extent, a giant car manufacturing city. So I think General Motors is there. I think they make some Ford stuff there. Chrysler, maybe. I'm not very up to date on cars, but I know GM is there because I stayed at the GM hotel once there. But anyway, so that is where Motor City came from, and that led into Motown. All right. A man of vision, drive, talent, and determination, Berry Gordy was also a producer, innovative entrepreneur, and teacher. Under his leadership and through determination and support of the Motown family of artists, Gordy forged new grounds for minorities and made the Motown sound a worldwide phenomenon. Berry Gordy always learned from all his experiences and applied them to his business. The tedious time he spent working on the assembly line at Detroit's Lincoln Mercury automobile plant he put to good use. Lincoln Mercury, there we go. Every day I watched how, oh my God, I can't read. It's early, I apologize. Quote, every day I watched how a bare metal frame rolling down the line would come off the other end, a spanking brand new car. What a great idea. Maybe I could do the same thing with my music. Create a place where a kid off the street could walk in one door, an unknown, go through a process, and come out the other door, a star. End quote. From his experience at Lincoln Mercury, he also set up a system at Motown called Quality Control in order to assure that only top product would be released. Meetings were held on Friday mornings where producers would submit their product to be voted on. All were free to express their honest opinions. The competition was fierce, and so was the love. So every Friday they would meet. Here's this song I've been working on, and they'd, yes, no, change this. They would kind of make sure every song was the best it could be, putting all their minds together. Today, Motown is not only the greatest pop music hit factory ever heard, but an institution, a state of mind, a way of life, a style. Quote, the sound of young America. The distinctive, upbeat, and uplifting music brought together pop and soul, white and black, old and young, like never before, and continues to this day. Regardless of race or social background, teenage girls admired Diana Ross, and teenage boys pretended to be Smokey Robinson. Motown had become the heartbeat of American pop music. The house that Gordy built had no rival. Motown defined the term crossover, not only on the record stage, but also behind the scenes. What that means is going to different charts. After breaking down barriers and having pop radio embrace Motown artists, Berry Gordy set his sights on television and movies. He booked his artists on popular shows such as American Bandstand and The Ed Sullivan Show. After captivating national audiences with repeat performances on these shows, the Supremes were the first R&B act to play the country's most prestigious nightclub, the Copacabana in New York. New York's Copacabana. Again, the first R&B act. So the first black R&B group to play at the Copacabana was the Supremes, and they were a headlining Motown performing artist. We'll get to them here in a second. This paved the way for other R&B acts to the top cabaret circuits around the world. Motown was the first African-American owned record label to reach widespread national acclaim. Motown broke down racial prejudice by becoming the most successful independent record company in history and the most successful African-American owned business in America. After Gordy purchased the first Detroit property, he converted the garage into a small recording studio and the kitchen into the control room. The company's first signing was The Miracles, led by Smokey Robinson, and its first release was Marv Johnson's Come to Me, which was on January 21st, 1959. Their first major hit was Barrett Strong's Money, That's What I Want, a song co-written by Gordy himself, which reached number 2 on R&B's chart in 1960. A year later, the Miracles would score the company's first million seller with Shop Around. That same year, teen girl group The Marvelettes landed the company's first pop #1 with Please Mr. Postman, while the label signed two young groups, the Supremes and the Temptations. Within 3 years, those two groups would lead Motown into the mainstream, when the Supremes launched an unprecedented string of 5 consecutive #1 hits, starting with Where Did Our Love Go?, while the Temptations released the eternal Motown classic My Girl, which I guarantee most of you have heard. In 1968, the company had 5 records out of the top 10 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. So they held 5 of the top 10. That's pretty cool. And accomplished another unprecedented feat by seizing the top 3 spots for a full month. In the late 80s and 90s, all of Motown's major artists were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Upon his own induction in 1988, Motown's founder was given the following tribute. Quote, Gordy endeavored to reach across the racial divide with music that could touch all people, regardless of the color of their skin. End quote. Today, the label is part of the Universal Music Group with its classic recorded music catalog managed by Universal Music Enterprises, UME. The timeless songs from Motown between 1959 and 1985 are represented by EMI Music Publishing. Okay. It's not very clear, but here's a picture of Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, started in a garage and a kitchen control room, a converted house with $800 to go on to be the most successful, not just most successful black record label, but the most successful black business in all of the United States. Pretty cool. All right. Here are our listening jots. So go ahead over to Spotify, another tab. Oh God, my computer's going to die. So Spotify, another tab. Mine's not loading right now, but you guys can pull up the Motown playlist on my account. You don't need to do the Who Dat this week because they're all right across, okay? But you got to do your listening jots right here. So open with Cammie, okay? And then do the little boxes down there below each song. And then below the jots, we have some questions. Who was Berry Gordy? Where'd the name Motown come from? Et cetera, et cetera. Answer those questions in Cammie. The last page goes with the YouTube video I'm going to post on Classroom. I'll say that again. This last page, the Motown Effect, Motown and Civil Rights, it's a separate video. These are not answered in the reading. You have to watch the video that goes with it. Okay? I hope you made it this far, so you got that piece of information. Last page goes with the YouTube video I'm putting on Classroom. So watch that. Do these questions. Once you've done all these questions, submit. And that's it for this week. Shags and Motown. Not related, but we're doing them both. All right. I hope you're all doing well. Please email me if you have any questions. Peace.